Not in the coal plunge again.
I told you to adjust the volume. Eli, figure this out.
And
Edit that.
But it's so important when it comes to spiritual leadership.
Yeah.
Because I think in any form of leadership, but especially in what you're doing, the people that are in your congregation that are listening to you or listening to me, they're only going to go as far as the leadership takes them.
Yeah.
So if you're up there and you take a middle of the road stance on everything, we never really branch into any depth in either direction. We just stay here, and we both know what that's like to be under someone as a spiritual leader who's walking that way, who's just, we're going to teach the same type of thing over and over and over again. No one's going to get mad, and hopefully no one leaves. And then you end up with where we're at today with a lot of woke Christianity, a lot of that sort of thing.
100%.
Has that ever reared its head for you in maybe as an option, or maybe someone wanted to preach something or teach a certain way where you had to be like, okay, no, because this didn't work over here, and that's not the kind of leadership I'm about? Does that ever come in, or how does that work?
Yeah. So now people will say to me stuff like, all right, let's don't worry about all what they're doing, and you don't need to get into the negative stuff, or don't highlight what's wrong. And here's the one-liner I'll often hear. You don't want to be known for what you're against. You want to be known just for what you're for. And then I always think, well, by nature, in spiritual matters, if I'm for the truth and for the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I'm for what God says, then I'm, without even trying, I'm against anything that's against that.
Yeah.
So if something is dangerous, or if something is worthy of cautioning, then I need to do that. So, but yeah, you'll have that all the time where people kind of go, well, let's tone it down. And I'll hear this from other pastors. They go, man, let's just love people. We just need to lay aside the truth, and everyone doctrine and Bible this, and let's just love people. Jesus was just loving. And you think, Jesus came and said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. Jesus was very exclusive. He said, I'm the only way to heaven. Yeah. There's no other way but me.
Very insulting terminology.
Absolutely. And so he's very exclusive. And so I often will say, just love people, lay aside truth. Great. Let someone come in with heart disease, obesity, and a lazy attitude and say, Brandon, just love me. Just love me. And you go, that's a great I'm going to love you right now by taking you over to this section of the gym, and I'm going to love you by laying out a diet plan for you. I'm going to love you by giving you the truth. And that's what's lost in our world. And I think more than ever, like Gen Z and this generation even now, they have such a difficult time with conflict. And it's like, hey, you want to believe everything is your truth. You speak your truth, bro. You speak and now truth is relative.
Big time.
So I can identify as a 9-foot Chinese woman. I can identify as your dog Alfie.
Yep.
Or right now, in a sicker way, I can go identify as a 8-year-old girl and use their bathroom.
Yeah.
That's where we end up. And people go, oh, that's so extreme. That's not going to happen in churches and all that. It's happening now as people say, I'm sorry, I need to repent of my whiteness. And you're like, what? I don't even know what you're talking about. Why do I have to repent of being white? Or someone else says, I know you're not a racist, and I know you've never done anything that's racist, but because you're white, you need to, your forefathers, and you're going, I don't know, where does this come from? They're like, well, it's my truth.
Yeah.
You go, do you have an objective, is this coming from someone?
Everything to base that on?
How I feel.
Right, yeah.
I feel like a woman.
The emphasis on feeling is just overriding the concept of even the existence of truth.
Yep.
It feels like, and I think that's why people cling to truth. You used an example in one of your posts recently where you talked about Rogan and Peterson and Shapiro, and how each one of those guys, they'll be the cleverest man in the room. They'll be talking, and they'll talk for hours.
They say true things.
And they say true things. And on the one hand, it's why they're so popular.
Yeah.
You've got somebody who, like Peterson, who that guy just says it how we're all thinking it should be said. It's just 100%. People are oftentimes not articulate enough to say it or afraid to say it.
Yeah.
But people like that will say something that is true, and we just cling to it. It's why they're so positive and so popular. But at the same time, those guys are missing one of the most ultimate truths, and that is the true path to salvation. And so in the case of what you are doing, it is never more important for someone like yourself to be saying exactly what is true based on the Bible compared to anyone else.
Yeah, it's vital. I base my whole life on it.
Yeah.
Life, ministry, all of it. I don't think there's anything worth saying, even for preaching now. When I get in the pulpit, I've been thinking about this recently at our church. We're here in Arizona. And
what's the name of it?
Shepherd's House Bible Church. We just call it the Shepherd's House.
Yeah. And it's a plant. I want to talk about that too. I want
we're
to
a
get
church
into
plant.
all that.
Yeah, we're a church plant. And
Church